Hello everyone. Today's topic is why do we need divine in our life? I'm not gonna say any deities or gods, angels, ancestor. I'm simply saying divine. The beings from higher realm, from higher dimension, who are already ascended, who are filled with unconditional love, who only wishes good and positive and benevolence for all of us without us having to do anything to receive that, because it is our birthright to receive that unconditional love. It is us that we have to reach a consciousness, awareness that accepting that is something that we are supposed to do on earth. It is freely available, that unconditional love. And it is not something that I would say we need to think about every single day, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do. It is like if we keep thinking what I'm supposed to do, it is becomes a question. What we need is the answer, clarity, solution, and path towards our goal. So when we speak about our goals, either it's led by the desire, need, requirement, responsibility, or decision that we want to do this and that, these kind of things. So how we are supposed to know which decision is good, which decision is not, which goal is actually good for us and which is not, and which path is something that's good for us and something that we are not supposed to do. For example, people stay without getting married for taking responsibility for somebody else. They might feel regretful in their old age. There are people who are married uh, may still feel the same thing in their old age as well, or even in the middle age. So how we're supposed to decide all of those things? For all the things, this is exactly the reason that we need to means we are supposed to, we ought to connect ourselves to the divine, because divine is something, it's very easy to think gods or deities or something like powerful or righteous. um, they have a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and they do a lot of things. They can do this and that. What's our responsibility as humans is to understand divine simply means unconditional love, which means no matter what they say, no matter which path they guide, it is for our highest good. In order to receive that, we need to accept that we are desiring that connection with the divine. I would not say any deities or gods or any religion. I'm particularly simply saying divine, because divine does not have any religion. Divine is something simply divine. They are from higher dimension, from a different dimension. Their consciousness is completely different. When, if you see a company led by somebody who's capable, they may actually make a lot of profit. But how they make profit, that is questionable or unquestionable, whatever that it is. A capable leader leads, you know, in a way, a leader who's supposed to be, who is considerate of everybody, whoever is following the leader, considerate of all of their needs, their situation, their requirement, and still focus on the goal that they're supposed to do. This is exactly why people become successful in such roles. And if somebody who's not competent enough, they might still receive the goal because of the followers. That is completely different. But when we are supposed to follow or accept the divine help, it simply means we are letting go of every negativity, every negative assumptions, belief system, limitations that we might have absorbed through life, people, experiences, even second-hand experiences, and having to trust something that an understanding that divine knows something that beyond our understanding. If divine is something that's guiding us, even if we don't know the whole plan that they made, if we are asking a divine to make a plan for us, for my life, and I just want to live, everybody's preference is different. People want to live an abundant life, people want a happy life, people want a satisfied life, people want to experience that celebrations or thriving, or they want something, they want good people all around, they want to be treated good, whatever that it is, or they have a particular goal. First point is to understand the desire that comes to us. Is it good for us or not? How we determine, no, this desire is good for somebody or this desire is not good for somebody? This is exactly where spirituality and our consciousness and the divine walks in. You know, a long time ago when I visited a person's house, I heard people speaking, adult people, that in this world only money is important, and people who value money are somebody, they were, the point of their conversation is, without, only money is something that makes person valuable. It's because of their life experience. Perhaps they experience some kind of a disrespect or some kind of a negligence or insult for somebody who probably had a lot of money compared to them, or it was simply their understanding of life because they was somebody else experiencing something else. See, these kind of things are, it can be true for certain people, because we born into circumstances because of our karmic entanglements of our past. So wherever we are born into, it was not in our hand. So when we are not in a place to change where we are born into, but we can certainly change the aspect of our life, our experience of our life. This is exactly why spirituality is something that is beyond any religion, because spirituality is something that opens up to that divine wisdom, knowledge, something that helps even people who are living in a society, who want to make a lot of money and live a householder life, get married and have kids and grow old and retire. Even to those people, if they understand the value of what's important to themselves, because if a person chooses love as important, and they may still fall in love with the wrong people, and they still might get hurt. It is because they might never fall in love with themselves, not to let a wrong person walk into their life, because in their lives love is everything. And a person, I'm hypothetically speaking, not any particular case, for a person who thinks money is everything, running behind the money, and whether they make it or not, maybe they may actually be happy considering how they lived their childhood and how much they suffered, and now experiencing that financial freedom, and they can do whatever they want in their life without somebody else telling them that they cannot do this, they cannot do that. So it's very different, because it's a understanding that love is everything. Yes, love is basic of every single thing in this universe. Love is something that connects everybody to everybody, but everybody's birth is different, their circumstances is different. Priorities are different for everybody. But even if somebody says this is their priority, they might be considering a wrong things or something not good for them as their priority. This is exactly why there are a lot of people who get stuck, or they feel like they're stuck in a relationship, in a situation, because they prioritize something that did not worked for them. So to put that in a peaceful situation, if we connect ourselves to the divine, then we would know whatever we decided that this is going to be our priorities in our life, whether it's actually good for us or not. For example, for twin flames, it's very essential that they come out of their codependency and become financially independent, because twin flames are always about love and relationship, giving and doing good deeds or these kind of things, despite having a desire for material things, or I would say something that they want, both spiritual and these kind of things, whether they consciously understand it or not, but that is how it is. So twin flames are something, they were forced to look into different dimension in their own life, to accept that their understanding of what's important in life was something that actually made them suffer. So twin flames are forced to change their priorities by the divine itself, because uh, they picked up everything from the point of love, but also with a lot of trauma that they have experienced in their life. So the priorities that they set themselves for when they were children as important things was actually a trauma that gave them the idea that this is important, that is not important. So this is exactly why twin flames are forced to look into their own situation and to change their priorities and look at life in a very different way. So this is exactly why, even for somebody who is not a twin flame, who wants to change certain aspect of their life in a very positive way, I would suggest that this is exactly why having a deeper connection with the divine would help us to realize this is important, that is not important. For example, I heard somebody online saying that they bought a house or some place, somebody who's in their mid 30s, and they went to their relatives to celebrate that, and they were not happy. And this person was expressing that displeasure because they felt connected to their relatives, and the relatives behaved as if they did not care, or they felt jealous because their kids of the same age did not have that, and this person achieved something, and it must have hurt this person. And it was an explanation that relatives are not good for you, or something, that displeasure came out through the expression of this person in that video was very evident. And the opinion was, they did not wanted to the jealousy of the relatives. That was not the point, because I experienced a lot of things and lessons from my spirit guardians. What I understood is, because twin flames are forced, I'll come to the point. Twin flames are forced to come to an understanding. If they want to heal, then only, usually, even if they don't want to heal, that is the point of their union and reunion. Twin flames are forced to look into their own divinity, to force them to come to the balance and to understand that they do not lack anything. Means even somebody else's appreciation is something that they do not need, because they are divine. We are all divine. All of us are divine. So the point of this person was being that extremely displeased about their relatives being jealous is a lesson for this person to understand that happiness is not something that somebody else can give. The achievement this person has already done by earning that money, by buying that place or house, whatever, it's a while that I have seen that video, is something that should have brought happiness to this person. Letting somebody else ruin that is something that we need to stop doing to ourselves. Means sharing that happiness with the relatives means it came through the culture, the family system. And if somebody is not happy with that, not taking that to heart, is our responsibility, because we are the one who decide whether this person has a right to hurt us or not. That is the point of our consciousness ascending. Means being kind to ourselves means we are not letting anybody hurt us. If somebody is displeased, means it's their problem. Having an understanding that did we actually did something wrong to them, that is completely different. But without this kind of, in these kind of a situation, if somebody, this jealousy, these kind of things, it's their issue. If they're not happy, then keeping them away is something probably one should practice without having to feel negative. But it would sting, people who grow up in a joint family, who received a lot of love and affection, or even if somebody who's culturally grow up that way, that communities every single thing, it might sting. So this is one of the life experiences, to not to rely on somebody else's appreciation or support to feel that happiness. In the mid 30s, if somebody has earned a lot of things to have their own property in their own house or whatever it is, I'm not talking about this person, I'm particularly speaking about general things. It's something that they should be celebrating, isn't it? And letting somebody else ruin that happiness is something that nobody supposed to do. This is exactly a lesson, a life lesson, I would say. Cruelty is not something that we should be doing to ourselves. This is the point. Means if somebody is unkind to us, keeping that person away is our responsibility, and not to take that kind of negative thing to the heart is our responsibility. People who think that they are sensitive, it's because they have grown into circumstances, they have taught, indoctrinized by people with a different belief system that made these people sensitive because of the trauma experienced in childhood. A lot of people, unless they reach their extreme point, they may never understand that being kind to somebody else while being unkind to the self is something that Divine never wants us to do. This is the point where I would say Divine's intervention is very important in our life, to set the priorities. The way, even if it is parents, there are a lot of people whose parents are not pleased no matter what they do. It is the responsibility, or it is a task, a realization that children has to do, that their parents, whether they're happy with the achievement or not, it is their behavior. It is not supposed to affect us personally, because our happiness is something that we can change it in our own hand by not letting other person opinion or suggestion ruin whatever we have, the good thing that we have. This can be done if we have a deeper connection with the Divine. The first thing is how to set goals in life, knowing this is good for me or not good for me. This is exactly why when we have a deeper relationship with the Divine, they insert these ideas, thoughts, suggestions through different things. You may receive a WhatsApp something, and you may receive an idea, sudden epiphany through that. You may open a book and your eye may actually go through a line, a statement that may actually give you an inspiration, something. So through all of those things, Divine tries to redirect and direct people towards what is best for them, and not to resist is in our hand. People resist because they think they know, they desire this, they desire that, and having to understand how to differentiate between our own thoughts and the Divine guidance. That is the skill that we need to practice by doing the meditation and focusing something that internalize our attention. This is exactly why meditation is very important. to connect ourselves to the divine, because I'll give you a simple example. I'm talking about the priorities. That's one thing it got clear. Second thing, desires. If we desire something, how would we know that that desire is actually ours or something that's not good for us? For example, if somebody has a desire to go out and eat pani puri every single day, do you think that's really good? No, that's a common sense, isn't it? But if somebody has suddenly a desire to go somewhere and do something, how do you know that's actually their desire or not? This is exactly why purification helps us, means cutting out all the processed food, salty, sweet, uh, extremely, processed food. When we change that food system to something that's natural, home cooked, something that's very comfortable, and when we all do that, the body, the cleansing of the body internally, and mindfully consuming the food in a very positive way, and meditating, and giving some movement to the body, exercising, doing yoga, stretches, doing a lot of things, and consuming food with the positive thoughts, cutting out all the negative influences like social media, if there is any. It's an unnecessary distraction if we really want to do something. And staying away from negative conversation, even just being a witness to negative conversation if somebody else is having a conversation. These kind of things that we can choose to do to release that energies from our body, our energy field, and it helps us to connect deeper to the divine world. Because I heard people who always want to eat sweets. This is the comment section that I observed a few times ago, that one person was explaining that they used to crave a sugar a lot, eat cakes and this kind of processed food almost every single day. No matter what they did, they didn't had any control, and they suddenly decided to do a 7-day fast, 10-day fast, whatever. It's a foreign thing. It's a foreign person, and after that detoxification, they felt completely different. They did not long for that sweet at all. So their desire to eat that sugary thing on a daily basis was not their actual desire. And suddenly, after detoxification, they realized it was not their genuine desire to eat that sugary things on a daily basis. This is exactly why cleansing of our body helps us to connect ourselves to the desire and the divine that's genuinely ours. Um, this is exactly why our connection to the divine world and our ability to detoxify and purify our internal self, our food, our thought, our behavior, our way of living, and meditating, it all helps us to connect ourselves to our higher self and the divine. This is how we can prioritize the right thing for ourselves. This is how we can clearly know, more or less, this is actually our desire, and this is something that came because some other influences, and that might be not good. So this is how we can differentiate things with the practice. It takes, you may call sadhana. It would take some practice. Mindfully, if we do that with the focus, it becomes easier with the time. I hope it helps.